Hello, welcome to ESPN FC Live. Sometimes defenses are on top. Other days, like today, they're not. And it's magic because 20 goals in 3 games so far in the 3 p.m. English time kickoffs in the Premier League. There's just been an equaliser for Burnley at home to Brentford. There's a VAR check there. We'll keep you updated. My name's Mark Donaldson alongside Janusz Mihalik. Our main focus on the right-hand side of your screen, Liverpool against West Ham. 7 of those 20 goals in this game. We could have had a lot more, Janusz. This was a fun game to watch, but maybe not so much if you're a West Ham fan.
No, there had the moments. We'll get to them, I'm sure. But, the early goal sets the game up just a little bit. I think you look at a Liverpool who's starting to establish some stability, right? I mean, there's obviously a race for top 4. It's always going to be close. It's up and down between Liverpool, Chelsea, and Manchester United. We're talking 5 spots there. So somebody's going to have to miss out. So it's always about now. The next game, right? It's not what's going to happen in the future. You've got to take advantage of the fact that you can put pressure on Manchester United and Chelsea in this case and see if they respond or not. So, each game defines the season for Liverpool at this stage. And I thought they did what they needed to do.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Ekitike among the goals. We'll look back at the goals individually. But with Villa's blip on Friday night at Wolves, there is no difference between finishing 3rd, 4th, and probably 5th this season, apart from prize money. You're still going to get into the Champions League group stage. But if we say the top 2 are the top 2, and they're going to be that way in whichever order, you mentioned about the race. 3rd place for Liverpool is not out of the question, is it?
No, it isn't. But that's why today, amongst all the positives, and later we'll probably break it down, what's still needed for Liverpool to be at their best. That's certainly not the Liverpool that we expected after the first 7 games of the season. That's for sure. But, the difference, the 2 goals today, unnecessary in many ways, because if you talk about the small margins, Liverpool, if they didn't concede them, they would have been in 3rd already, right? You look at Manchester United, Chelsea behind them have the better goal difference. And I think that's going to come into play. I know there are plenty of games to come, but if you look at the way Liverpool has played defensively, at least throughout the season, they're not the rock that we expected them. We know how important it is. I think you're getting some maybe better protection from the midfield as well, but I think I would have been disappointed today conceding it. I'm not saying 5-0, but 3-0, 4-0, that makes a difference. And as I said, you would have had Liverpool in 3rd place right now.
Yeah, I get that, but they get 5 goals, and fans just love celebrating goals. Go home, and if the opposition score a couple, but you've got 5, it's not the end of the world. And they seem to find the back of the net now. 6 against Karabag, 4 against Newcastle, 3 against Brighton in the Cup, and now 5 against West Ham. Earlier in the season, they weren't beating the teams they were expected to beat. So we can't have a go at them at conceding 2 when they've scored 5. They're back among the goals. So what's different? Why are they now when they struggled earlier in the season?
Yeah, I think you're seeing some, we're seeing, Ekitike from the beginning, a player that came into the league. You always talk about the adjustment to the league. He didn't truly need it, right? The best is yet to come, because if you look at him, he is a number 9, but he is so much more than just that. I don't know if you remember, Mark, in the first 3 or 4 minutes, the way he's recovered the balls, the way he moves wide, interchanges with Hakpo, whoever's playing there. So he's the sort of player that certainly knows what to do as a number 9. Now, what is it? 11 goals, I think, in the Premier League, 16 in total right now in his first season. That's good. But, the goals are coming from set pieces. That's important because that wasn't a huge strength. I think that's now, there was like 7 goals from set pieces in the last 7 games that weren't like an open play. And I know you can question a couple of those, but because they weren't directly of the set piece like Van Dijk. But I think that has to be put down to that. But, I still look at Liverpool and I wonder where that's coming from. I don't know if I have the exact answer, because the wide game is still wanting, isn't it? If I look at that, I know towards the end, Hakpo, who had very, very average game, who scored his goal that everyone knows, right? Because he forces coming inside with a bit of a deflection from Wan-Bissaka. But Salah, again, somewhat poor. I think Gomez didn't show anything in particular going forward. Kerkez has been much better, I think, but still nothing from him. So they are scoring goals. Set pieces is much, that's much better. Central players are contributing as well, so that's important. But it's not all that great in terms of a balanced attack, because in the wide areas, there's still a lot of improvement that needs to come.
I remember you and I, and not just on one occasion, have spoken about Liverpool in the past. Is Mohamed Salah a one-man team? Now Liverpool score 5 and Mohamed Salah doesn't get any of them, but others are. And that's key for Liverpool. What was the best thing that impressed you in the first half as they controlled proceedings and scored through Ekitike after 5, through Van Dijk after 24, and through McAllister after 43?
I think, in the past, we could have talked about Liverpool, the lack of energy, the lack of intensity, especially early in the games, right? I mean, I think we've talked about the slow starts from Liverpool, either because of what I said, or maybe conceding and struggling both home and away, even at Anfield as well. So today's goal and the intensity in the first 15, 20 minutes was very good. The second goal came in as well. So there wasn't that drama that I think, for most of the season you expect from Liverpool, right? Even in this game, there were moments where West Ham were well into the game. They did score 2 goals, whatever you want to say. Slow start in the second half there was, right? I think, the first goal from Thomas Souček, 48, 49 minute or something. But I was really impressed with the intensity in beating a team that has not always been easy for Liverpool, a team like others when they go away, playing in a low block, very often capable of frustrating a team like Liverpool, a Liverpool team that has had their issues with breaking down that low block as well. That wasn't the case today early on. So I think, these 2 goals, in particular the first one, set the game out for Liverpool. And I like that sort of intensity and okay, conceded, let's go right after them. Because I think there were just too many games where Liverpool may have been ahead, but you were just always wanting if they're going to find that second, third, fourth goal. So that was impressive.
Yeah, you can only beat what's in front of you. And from a West Ham perspective, this was one, anything they get from it is a bonus. And we saw something from them in the second half. They got a goal back 4 minutes into the second half through Souček. Tati Castellanos, former MLS player, getting another one back with 15 to go before Disasi's own goal made it 5-2. So let's have a look at West Ham and this battle that they are in, because Forest go to Brighton on Sunday. Wolves have already won against Villa on Friday night, but are probably down anyway. By the way, Burnley thought they had equalised, but Ashley Barnes was adjudged to have handled the ball in the build-up, and in the 11th minute of added time, in a game they were 3-0 down against Brentford, got back to 3-3, got ahead 4-3. That goal was chalked off. Brentford then scored, and then Burnley equalised, but it was chalked off. So they didn't get anything from that game there against Brentford. And West Ham, nice enough in the second half, got a couple of goals, but conceded 5. So who's going down in the Premier League, and who's got the fight that's going to give them a chance to stay up?
Well, I mean, West Ham still a big worry. They've just kind of pulled themselves up a little bit. Let's not forget, ahead of this game, West Ham only lost 1 in 6 in the Premier League. So obviously, there was a certain bounce from them. They've made some changes. Today was unfortunate. It can always happen when you go away to a big club like Liverpool, I suppose. But that massive momentum that I thought they really did have really stopped here with a result like this. You look at Leeds, a valuable point away to Villa, right? So you got Forest and Spurs at the moment. At West Ham, they have to find points quickly. There's still a worry at West Ham. I mean, look, when Thomas Souček is still your best player, or is your best player on the pitch, you worry, right? And normally Jared Bowen carries that team. He's carried that team just about in every game, win or loss, right? Today, he was just okay, nothing special for him. You look at Somerville, who's been very, very hot. I think 6 goals in 8 matches in all competitions for him. He was extremely quiet today as well. And you would have thought maybe against Joe Gomez, that would have been a pretty good matchup for him. Not saying that Gomez is bad, but obviously injuries, not playing a lot and all of that. I thought this would be the day for him. So I would say today, although West Ham is going to say, yeah, it's Liverpool at Anfield, could be damaging. It's going to be interesting how they bounce, and they're going to have to bounce, because I think it's going to be tight. 2 teams are going down right now. And Mark, you just have a feeling, I mean, there's not a lot of teams that you can say we're going to catch up. You got to be near perfect these days.
And that's the issue. And I know managers say, I don't want to look too far ahead. I don't want to look past the next game. You and I can. And the last game of the season for West Ham is at home to Leeds. The problem they've got before that is it's Newcastle and Arsenal. Just before that, they're still in the FA Cup. They're at home to Brentford in that, whether that's something that they want or they don't want. They're still going to be involved in it. Next up for them is a trip to Fulham. Out of the teams, if you're saying Burnley and Wolves are down, you've got Spurs, you've got Forest, you've got West Ham, and you've got Leeds. So it's probably going to be one from those 4. If you were to stake your life on one of those teams, as far as the team that's going to battle, the team that knows how to deal with a fight, and the other 3 that maybe don't, who's the one out of those 4, Leeds, Spurs, Forest, and West Ham, you'd want to be stuck in the trenches with?
Well, look, I mean, West Ham know how to battle. I mean, they've had to deal with relegation. So I suppose in terms of experience, you say to yourself, they've got that. But I like what Leeds are doing right now. They have a decent squad, as good as West Ham right now. Spurs, if they get a little bit healthier, you look at that squad and you say to yourself, they've got to come good. They're so much better. I mean, I actually do think that West Ham is one of, is possibly the weakest of those teams. And one of the biggest problems is that they have trouble scoring goals, right? I mean, this is not a team. You see 2 goals here and, that run that they've had. But ultimately, you don't see yourself like you have a truly number 9. I don't know if you can count on Callum Wilson anymore. Tati Castellano today, okay, he scores a goal, but this is not Tati Castellanos that I remember, say, from Girona. Certainly not the one from Lazio, really, because he wasn't all that great there as well. So I worry about that. As we've seen, they continue to concede, although they've made some changes in the transfer market as well. So out of those, I really, really worry about West Ham the most. We've said that before. They found a way to save themselves. But, how many times can you go to that well continuously? And this, how many seasons now we've had where West Ham are, relegation fighters, ever since David Moyes has left. So I worry about West Ham still the most out of all those teams.
Tell you what, it's a big day tomorrow as well, because Spurs are at Fulham in that London derby and Forest go to Brighton. So we might get a swing one way or the other. Let's end with Liverpool, just looking at their next fixtures. And as we said, look, they're not winning the title. It's about getting into the Champions League for next season, top 5. Get in there. It's about trying to win the Champions League this season. Their next games aren't bad. Their next 5. Wolves, in fact, let's go 6. Wolves away next week. Liverpool play Spurs at Anfield, then go to Brighton, then Fulham at home, Everton away, and Palace at home. That's not a bad run of fixtures. That gives them a right chance to build some momentum, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I think that's important for the narrative, for the talk about still behind the scenes about Arne Slot. Is he good enough? Should he stay? Right? I mean, next season, do we need changes? This team has dropped off. Sometimes we talk about that Arne Slot doesn't really have a plan B and all of that, right? But let's remember that, any league, in particular this one, and Manchester City has been a great example of that. It's about runs. And if you can put together a run, which Liverpool are fully capable, because they have proven that over the years as well. I mean, this is a team that can finish this on a high. And when I say on a high, it's so difficult to defend your title, right? I mean, aside from Manchester City, how far do we go back to do that? So I think that the FA Cup, obviously, this season may be important because title is going to be important. The Champions League, I mean, would I be saying that the Liverpool are capable of winning the Champions League right at this moment? Probably not, because as I've said, this is a Liverpool team that's far away from fluid. Talked about that midfield, that on both sides of the ball, it's not that engine, right? That ran on that, petrol that was that was just incredible. Even in this game, there were moments where I could see that it's just not there on both sides of the ball. But it can all change, because momentum is a wonderful thing. And when you see something to fight for, Arne Slot, say they win the FA Cup, say somehow they win the Champions League, right? You're not going to let go of a manager that wins the Premier League one season and say another trophy the next season. And as we said, look at Ekitike, the way he plays. Isak obviously is going to be a better season for him. You have Florian Wirtz, who unfortunately was once again unavailable, but he's shown his quality and his class in the last few games as well. So you go on and you kind of say to yourself, maybe this is that small rebuild or reset, if you will, where Liverpool once again may be expected to fight for the title next season. So I think it's good times right now. As you've said, you can only play the teams that are in front of you. And I look at Liverpool right now, because that's now what, Mark? 4 wins on the trot in all competition. You look at Bayer Leverkusen, Galatasaray in the Champions League. Yes, I know this season in Champions League, they've lost away to them, but I think that Liverpool will deal with Galatasaray over the 2 legs, and then a big one against PSG. You get through that and you can dream.
You can start to dream, Liverpool fans, because they were down in the doldrums just a couple of months ago. But 5 goals at home, doesn't matter who the opposition are. Always fun to enjoy. Still to come today, Leeds against Manchester City. No Erling Haaland in the Man City squad. Full reaction to that one on ESPN FC. Later today on ESPN Plus. And big one tomorrow with Arsenal against Chelsea. My thanks to Janis. Liverpool, the big winners today in a show, ESPN FC, that started off telling you about 20 goals in just 3 games, ends with just 19 goals in 3 games because of VAR. Make your own mind up. Was it a handball by Ashley Barnes or not? The bottom line is the decision didn't go Burnley's way, and Brentford win 4-3. And Everton in the other game as well. We didn't even get a chance to mention that. What a win for them at Newcastle by 3 goals to 2. I'm away for a lie down. Bye for now.